Welcome back to another exciting year here at Pacer Athletics. I'm Alex Buchman alongside Travis Broome. Season just started just a couple of weeks ago. Let's get it started off with men's soccer.
Yeah, the Pacers soccer team started off their first home game of the year against Limestone. Unfortunately, they fell in that game 6-1. Then they moved and went to Catawba for their first road game of the year. They fell behind early in that game, 1-0. Went to 1-0 at halftime. Then Catawba came out early, 6 minutes into that second stanza, went ahead and scored their second goal to put the Pacers behind 2-0. Scored another goal about halfway through the second half. Pacers fell behind 3-0 that game. It was a pretty big deficit for soccer, but in the 75th minute, the Pacers did score their first goal on the road. It was a corner kick from Carson Villa, and the Pacers ultimately fell behind in that game. They did lose also in the shots on goal in that game, 15-10. But the Pacers will open up again another homestand this Wednesday against Coker at 7 o'clock at the Pacer Pit.
And certainly they'll be looking to rebound there. Not the best way to start off, obviously 0-2, but it's a long season.
Right, it's early in the season right now too. I think they'll definitely be a good team to look at this year. They have a lot of improving. Apparently their defense, just some guys getting shuffled around right now. New guys in those positions. It'll be really interesting to see them Wednesday at home.
Right. I think there's a lot to prove for this team. A lot of young talent, just got to mold it together. A lot of games to go. Now moving on to cross country, the Pacers took a trip down to Columbia this past weekend to participate in the Gamecock Invitational. Once again, this team did very well.
Yeah, freshman Keely Gillespie finished this meet with a time of 20:01, which was third best overall in Division II. That was also the third best time in school history. The senior, Nicole Maitland, who's the Peach Belt Conference, all Peach Belt Conference runner, finished with a time of 21:10. The Pacers finished this match with a time or finished in third in the match. They will now travel this Saturday to the Berry College Invitational in Rome, Georgia, where they will compete on September 11th. This match is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m.
And certainly, very good performance from this team. A lot expected from this team coming up, and we'll see how they continue on the rest of the season. Now moving on to women's soccer. The women's soccer team will play their first game this Wednesday night. Actually be a doubleheader. The men's right after them. They will be playing Belmont Abbey. Pacers, a lot to prove this year. Very young team coming in. Finished 6-11 last year. Very top-ranked recruiting class coming into the season now, with a lot to prove, and we'll see how they get it started.
Yeah, 17 of the 23 players who will be starting for the Pacers this year are all underclassmen, so definitely a young team. But it's something to prove. They bested their 6-11 record last year, bested the season before where they'd only had 3 wins. So there has been improvement, and I think this class here is definitely going to be one to show and to show their talent in the coming year and to follow for the Pacers.
And we'll see how they get it started this Wednesday as they take on Belmont Abbey. The USC Aiken women's volleyball team opened up this past weekend, going 2-2 in the tournament over quality opponents Liz McRae and Coker College. This weekend they'll be hosting the USC Aiken Invitational. And we'll pass it on to our sports information director, Brian Hand, who will interview Coach Cox, recap last week's action, and the upcoming games this weekend.
All right, everyone, we're back here on Inside Pacer Athletics. I'm lucky enough right now to be joined by head volleyball coach Glenn Cox. How you doing today, Coach?
Excellent. You?
I'm doing great. Y'all had a great first tournament. Get some of the best competition in the region. Tell me a little bit about it.
It probably was the toughest tournament in the region that we could have picked to go to. We opened up with Lees McRae, who won their conference last year, and really was the team that almost took out Flagler in the region tournament last year. And they returned pretty much all of their players. We were able to get a 5-game win out of that match. It was a great match, just to battle back and forth. It was nice to be able to beat them in their home gym. Then we took on Flagler, who was obviously our region champions.
Just tough every time. It's going to be great every time you play them.
A team that made the Final Four last season, and we had the match under control with a 2-1 lead. In Game 4, we had multiple match points, and just our youth got the best of us, and we just couldn't squeak it out. But Flagler took charge in the 5th game, and it seems like we always have a nice battle with them. But it's good. It gave our team some confidence going into the conference play, because that was a non-conference matchup. But ran into Palm Beach Atlantic. We played a little tired after 2 5-gamers on Friday against Palm Beach, but they're a quality team, independent team and they'll be up to our tournament again later in the year. And then we were able to get another good region win against Coker this past weekend.
Why did you decide you kind of talked about it a little bit, but why did you decide to play in such a tough tournament like the Carolina Challenge?
I'm a big believer in throwing my team into the fire. We want to see right off the bat how we compete with some of the best teams in the region. Wingate was there as well. We didn't get to play them. We wanted to, but we didn't get to. But Flagler took care of them 3-0.
Yeah.
They dispatched them very quickly.
Yeah. And that's the team that hosted the regional last year that Flagler.
That is a team that hosted the regional.
Yeah.
So it was. I kind of wanted to see where everybody was. I feel like we're right there. We're getting better. We got better every match this weekend. So that's the goal. With such a young squad, we're if we can continue to get better every match, we'll be where we want to be at the end.
Well, the eyes of Aiken and pretty much Division II volleyball are going to turn to the Convocation Center this weekend, as we're going to have a 16-match, 8-team tournament here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, going to be another great tournament. A lot of good region play. This weekend we play. We'll open up our conference play with Montevallo Friday afternoon. We'll get Anderson Friday night, Erskine, and Valdosta State. My alma mater will be up here this weekend too, playing us. So we look forward to just another great weekend of volleyball. It'll be 2 courts going on at the same time, all day, every day, Friday and Saturday.
Well, this is your last regular season tournament for quite a while after this weekend. What are you looking forward going after this tournament?
I just want us to get in rhythm, find our clean game, as I like to call it. And it is still early in the season. Teams are still rough around the edges. Nobody's really gotten in the zone yet. But that's what we're hoping to find from playing the quality teams that we're playing this weekend. And it's tough because we are opening up with Montevallo having a conference match. We're getting it out of the way early so we can have at least one weekend off this season.
I'm going to throw one at you. This one's going to kind of catch you off guard, maybe. What do you think at the end of the year, what do you want to know most about your team? At the end of the year, what do you hope people learned about your team by the end of the year?
I want them to know that, we're here to win this conference. I feel like this group of kids last year, got a taste of it, knowing that they could beat Flagler and that we were the only team that could beat Flagler last season. That group is hungry for a championship. They really feel like they can compete with anybody in the region. And, that's where I want them to be, and that's where I want people to see us.
Well, I appreciate your time, and we thank you for joining us here. We'll see you next time on Inside Pacer Athletics.